Welcome, everybody. It is 11 o'clock, and in the villages, it's a gorgeous rainy day today, but it's always gorgeous in the villages. And we are doing Hey Good Lookin'. And we're working today out of the Black Lowry songbook. And Hey Good Looking is a fabulous song. And in case you haven't noticed, we have graduated to the second half of the book where we do not have the colors anymore. The first half of the book had red, blue, and green. We have now graduated to the second half of the book, which means we are learning new chords. Anybody who did not get a copy of my chord charts, please feel free to email me. I know they're on Patreon somewhere, but please feel free to email me. Here comes Paul at 5028 at fletchermusic.com and let me know, and I'm very happy to get you whatever materials that you need. Okay, so, Hey Good Lookin'. And as I have been corrected, I am on a beautiful Lowry Easy 4. It is a double keyboard instrument where I actually can play both keyboards, top and bottom. I'm going to play the song, and this is kind of like a sound check because I haven't used this instrument in a long time. So we're going to see if it's coming through okay. So I'm going to play through it, and then I want you to tell me too loud, too soft, needs adjusting, whatever. So we're going to play this on country. We'll stop right there just for now. How's the sound? Sound is okay? Yep, Sue Kelly says yes? Yep, okay.
Yep. Okay.
It's all right. Okay, it's not too loud, it's not distorting, it's not too soft. All right, perfect. That worked out fine. All right, so I'm going to finish the song. I am going to go to the top of page 61, and we will finish the song. Now, you have to watch. There is a road map here. Right now, I'm going to get into my hot rod Ford with my $2 bill. Ooh, a twang. I'm going to put on some harmony. We're going to put on a duet. And now the dots are telling me to go back to the dots at the beginning. Did you follow along all right? The road map is pretty cut and dried. It's pretty easy to know what that is. But if you need to use your markers, you have a first ending at the bottom of the second page. And at the end of the first ending, you have repeat dots. They're facing backwards, so you want to make that a color like yellow. Use a highlighter. So you make that yellow, and then you're going to make yellow where you're going back to, which in this case happens to be the dots at the beginning of the song that are facing forwards. Okay, now, why do they not go all the way back to the beginning of the song? Because the beginning of the song actually is a pickup note. It is an incomplete measure, and you never ever want to put dots surrounding an incomplete measure, because then how do you know where the measure actually starts? So dots will always be only on a measure line. Where's the repeat pickup note? It's at the end of the first ending. So this pickup note right here is essentially the same as the pickup note right here at the beginning of the song. Now the second time you play it, you're going to play this whole page. And the words are really cute. If you haven't read the lyrics, go ahead and read those lyrics because they're adorable.
I've never seen them before.
They're very cute.
Yeah, so fun.
And then when you get here, you're going to skip the first ending, jump over to the second ending, and oh my, it looks pretty much the same as the first ending, except they're adding 2 chords. They're just adding the F and the C at the end. So first ending, second ending, pretty simple stuff. This one is not too bad of a roadmap. Yeah, the words here, if you have never seen, I don't think I've ever seen the second lyric. I knew what verse 1 was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no more looking. I know I've been tooken. Pretty cute words. How about keeping steady company? Yes, Sue, you have a question?
I have one.
Oh, Yvonne has one. Okay.
At the end of that first, it's on the bottom of the second page where
Yes.
it says 1, this first ending, and
Correct.
it comes down to the C,
Uh-huh.
and the words under it is I'm.
Yes.
Where does that go?
That's your pickup note to go back to the beginning to the second verse. I'm free and ready.
Do I play that C or
Yes. You play that C, and those dots then send you back to here. So then you play this C.
not? Okay.
Okay? I'm free and ready. So we can go steady. Pretty cool.
That is cute.
Hank Williams, yeah, he could write a song. He could tell some stories. Okay, now the hardest part of this song is actually the timing. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of how to count this, and then I want you to forget about it because I don't want anybody counting songs, remember? I want you to play the song the way it feels. So, but it's my job as a teacher to tell you what all this timing stuff is. Basically, the only reason you need to know the note values, meaning how long do I hold this note, how long is this rest, is if you have a song that you don't know. This is a song that we pretty much all know, so it's not going to be too hard to just play it and enjoy it. Really, that's all it is. And if you don't like country background, find something else. Anything that counts to 4. So yes, Mr. David, you could play this on Hey Good Lookin' Disco, and it would be absolutely fine. Yeah. So you don't have to use country, even though, it's Hank Williams. So, that's pretty much what he liked to play. All right, let's talk a little bit about the note values. We'll go back and pick up chords, but the timing is so important in this song. This is 4/4, which means that there's 4 beats to a measure. Everything in the measure is between here and here. Okay? Those up and down lines, that's a measure, and it's 4 counts in between those 2 lines. The bottom note is written like a fraction, 4 quarters. So what that tells me is that the quarter note gets 1 of those beats. A quarter note is this black one with a stem. Now it doesn't matter if the stem is on the front side going down or the stem is on the back side going up. The only reason, see how some of them have the stem on the front side of the note going down? It just depends on how high or low is it on the staff. You want to make sure that all the stems pretty much stay on the staff. And that B is the middle line. Sometimes you'll see those go up, sometimes you'll see them go down, and that's really the dividing line. Any note below that, you're going to have the stem going up. Any note above that, you're going to have the stems coming down. And that's all it is to keep those notes on the staff. So quarter notes, black notes with stems, get 1 count. A quarter rest is this Oop, here comes Hutch. Let's make sure he gets in. A quarter rest is this silly looking symbol right here. Okay, and it looks like a bird in flight or a lightning bolt. That is 1 beat of silence. So it's like taking a breath wherever you see this. And that holds the place of 1 count. You have these 2 notes right here. Black notes with flags, stems, and connected with a flag. Sometimes those notes are separate, but those are 1/8 notes and they get half a count. What do I mean by separate? If it's separate like this, it's just 1 note, it's going to have a flag like this, it's still half a beat. So you can have 1 note, half a beat with 1 flag, or you can have 2 notes tied together with a flag that's still all 1/8 notes, or you can even have 4 notes together, all 1/8 notes, half a beat. And they group them like that to make it easier for us to read it and to time it out. Okay, what else do we have on this page? Okay, we have right there, we have a half note. It is a white note with a stem, 2 beats. 2 beats for that one. Now it is tied to an 1/8 note, so it's 2 beats and a half. Ooh, this is where the timing is going to get a little tricky. Here you have a dotted half note, which is a white note with a stem and a dot. A dot adds 50% of the note's value, so 2 beats plus 50% is 3 beats. You just hold it a little longer. Don't worry about counting too much. But 3 plus 1 equals your 4. Everything in a measure adds up to 4. And so if I was counting this, this would be 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and, or no, it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you would have to hold this for 1, 2, and half of 3. 3 and 4. So you actually have to play this 1/8 note in between the beats. This is why this gets a little tricky. Again, this is so that if you have a song you don't know, that's when you need to know what the note values are. If you do know the song, you just follow the notes as a guide and play the song the way you would normally sing it, and you're going to be fine. You have a whole note right here. It's a round circle with a stem, with no stem. It's the only note in the measure, so it gets all 4. This one happens to get even more than that because you have a tie going down to this one right here, which is a half note, and they did not put the letter in it. Now, the reason they didn't put the letter in it is to remind you that your finger is still on it from up here. So when it goes from line to line, or when it goes just to the next note, they will not put the letter in. It'll either be solid white or solid black to remind you that your finger is still on that note. Just hold it a little bit longer. Okay, I think we have all the note values. Nope, we got one more symbol. This little guy right here looks like a little 7 with the little bally on top, okay? And what that is an 1/8 rest. That gets a half a beat, the same as an 1/8 note. So here you have 3/8 notes. That's the last missing half a beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Now don't get caught up in the counting. I'm just explaining to you how it goes. But it is going to get tricky right here. Uh-oh, I got a half note, then I got a quarter note, and that's going to be played in between the beat, and then I have another 1/8 note, and then I got to jump to this one, and then I've got an 1/8 note at the end. Oh, and that one's got a dot on it. That's a beat and a half. So that's a little tricky right in there. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that's kind of hard. So don't worry about it too much. You know how the song is supposed to go. So when you get to that section, you're just going to play it the way it sounds. But here's how that top line actually goes. And it's the hardest part of the song. Let's take off the harmony. Okay, you see how you're kind of in between the beats. But if you know how you're supposed to sing it, sing the song while you are playing it and it'll be fine. $2 bill. And it's going to come out exactly right. Remember the eighth notes? Just cut them a little bit short and get right on to the next note. The quarter note, sometimes you have to play in between the beat. And yeah, it can get a little bit tricky, but no worries. No worries. Now, I also see in the right hand some of these guys. Some of those tic-tac-toe signs. Here comes Peter. Got to let him in. All right. So what are those things? Those are sharps. And what's nice about easy play music is they will always tell you if the note is supposed to be sharped or flatted by putting the symbol in front of every note that it's going to affect. Now, I do not see any flats in this one, but a flat is going to be a baby B sign. We've had it before. Let me see. Yeah, it was in the last song. This is a flat symbol. And the one we're learning today, or reviewing today, is the sharp, right there. Tic-tac-toe hashtag sign. Now, what does that mean? Well, if I had a sharp tack and put it on my bench and sat on it, where am I going? I'm going straight up. So a sharp sends you up the keyboard. Up the keyboard is to the right. So if I'm looking at a G sharp is the first black key to the right. It's that middle black key in the set of 3. That's a G sharp. No matter where it is, that's a G sharp. Now, it's also an A flat. Remember, every black key has 2 names, a sharp name and a flat name. And you just have to remember which one is which and where they are. Flats are like flat tires. They go down. Sharps are sending you straight up. So it's to the left or to the right, depending on if you're going up or down. All right, I have another symbol here. I forgot about this guy. It's a little rectangle sitting on top of that middle line, like a top hat sitting on top of that table. And what that is a half rest. You can kind of deduce that because you're in the measure with a half note. Half note gets 2 beats. It's 4 times, so it's going to have 4 counts total. So it stands to reason that the half rest will also get 2 beats, 2 beats of silence. Here you have a quarter rest and a half rest, so that's actually 3 counts of silence. And again, don't worry about it too much. The only time you really need to know what these are is if you're in a song that you don't know and you're just trying to pick it out. And the way technology is these days, you don't even have to worry about that. If you don't know a song, get on YouTube, ask Alexa, ask Siri, can you please play this song for me? And that way you can get it in your ears before you actually sit down. If you can hear it here, if you can sing it here, then you can put your hand on the keyboard and make it go. And just use the notes then as a guide. And that's the best advice I can give you from now until eternity. Honest and truly, if you play easy, play exactly as written. It's going to sound like that. It's going to sound a little choppy. It's not going to sound smooth like you're singing it. All right, yes, when you play along with me, because this is level 2, it might sound a little bit stiff and stilted, but that's okay because right now, our goal is to get these fingers comfortable on these keys. And that's all that 1 and 2 are about, is just getting our fingers comfortable on these keys. Now, what's nice about the left hand is that, oops, I lost a fingernail. Ouch. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to go to the nail salon tonight. Sorry about that. So excuse my left hand here. But your left hand, once you get it in position, never, ever changes. C, D, E, F, and G. And it stays here forever and ever. This is where you can play every single chord known to man. Don't ever go below the C. Don't ever do that. You're going to stay right there. Do not go above the B. You can play every single easy play chord from C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And if your hand is always here, then you're going to take these 2 fingers. Stay down here. Stay down. Thank you. You're going to take these 2 fingers and push them up into these black keys just a little bit so that you've got bumpers. And then every finger gets a white note. C, D, E, F, G, and the thumb can now reach the A, and the thumb can also reach the B. So the rest of the fingers can stay in one place. Your minor chords, you must play 2 fingers. I don't think we have any of those in this song. Nope, not a single one of them. We do have some 7 chords, and 7s are optional. How do I know that? They are out of the box. 7 chords are on top of the box, and that means you don't have to play them. It's optional. Will it make the chords sound better? Yeah, a little bit. Here's the difference between, let's get a nice sound here. All right. Here's a C chord. That's a nice solid chord. And here's a C7. Okay, it's still a C chord. But what this does is it makes your ear wait for the next chord, because now you're leading into the next chord. That's what your ear wants to hear. So a 7 chord is a lead-in chord or a moving chord. It's pushing your ear to the next chord. So usually the key of the song, which in this case is C because it's the last chord, usually that will not have a 7 on it unless it's going into the bridge, which here it does. Yeah, the C7 goes into the bridge here. So at the top of page 61, your C7 is going to be C with the pinky and thumb on the B flat. Now, why do I want to play it like that and not like this or not like this? Remember the rule, it's always the letter minus 2. That's how I can find my 7s. But now I went out of my box here, didn't I? I never ever want to go south of that C. So I'm going to take that B flat and put it back into my box up here and just stretch up with my thumb to get the B flat. 9 times out of 10, I'm at the top of page 61 right now. I know I'm skipping around. 9 times out of 10, your next chord is an F, and that's what your ear is waiting to hear, right? Here comes Glenn. Let's let him in. And Owen's coming. He's a little bit late. That's all right. Glenn and Owen are allowed to come late. Okay. So that mathematical rule applies to all the 7s. And you can cheat and write them in. And like I said earlier, if you do not have my chord chart from an earlier class, and it's on Patreon someplace, please feel free to email me, and it's 100% okay to cheat and look at the chord chart, because it's going to tell you which fingers to use. It's going to tell you which notes to play. So if you are looking at a D, you can just play the 4th finger on D, or you can play D7, which will add a little bit of spice and give it a little bit of a movement to it. It's going to make it feel like it's going to the next chord. D7 is the letter minus 2, 2 to the left. Remember, you have to count the black ones as well. So your 2 notes are C and D. Now, if you're unsure that you got the right ones, look in your window. It will tell you. So if you made a mistake and counted 1, 2, and you look at it and you go, oh, that's a B minor, I goofed. You have to count the black ones too. Look in your window, it will tell you. D7 is C and D, pinky and 4th finger, right where your hand sits. Your next 7 chord is a G7. And again, optional, it's on top of the box. You only need to play what's in the box to make your chord sound. G7, and go ahead and write this into, is G minus 2, 1, 2. It's F and G, and my pointer's already on F and my thumb's already on G, so I just push them at the same time, and I don't have to hold them. I can just touch and release, just like any other chord. 9 times out of 10, what comes after a G7? Your ear is waiting for C. Let's see if that's true. Yep, that sounded good. That sounds exactly right. So what you just learned is a couple of chord progressions Wow, are you guys getting smart? But your fingers will actually start to learn where those chord progressions are. Every time you play a G7, your pinky's probably already reaching for the C because that's what you want to hear. G7 goes to C. Now, what's nice about country music, and I think we've hit all the 7 chords here now. What's nice about country music is it's pretty much C, F, G, and sometimes D. And that's the only chords you got in a good country music song. So if your country music is just a wonderful way to really get your 2 hands starting to play together because you don't have to think about a lot of minor chords. You don't have to think about a lot of other chords. It's usually 4 chords and some of them are going to be 7s. And that's about it. So country songs are fabulous learning songs. The other thing that we could teach you in this, and it depends on how much you want to keep pushing yourself, is the glide. The glide. Now, why would I want to use a glide? Because if I'm on a country guitar, sometimes you hear them twang the strings. A glide sounds like this. And how did I do that? Okay, you do that with your kick switch. Your kick switch to the left. If you lean on that kick switch, it's going to detune your melody line. And the minute I let my foot off the switch, it'll slide the note right back up. So here's the order. Kick the switch, put down the note, release the foot. Do not release the note. And it takes a little bit of practice to do that. Now, some of you have foot pedals that you can put it on Pedal Magic, and then you can just step on a long pedal. Some of you have a touch bar. You can if you have only one touch bar, you can program it to do the glide function. If you have a double touch bar, it already defaults to the touch bar on the right-hand side. And all you would do is touch the bar, play the note, and release the bar. So lots of different ways to use your glide. That's the last thing I want you to learn on this. The last thing. That means it's optional too. So as far as you want to push yourself, this is a good song to come back to, by the way. If you also want to go back to Aloha, that's also a wonderful song to practice gliding, because gliding is something that does take a little bit of time to really get it to sound right, but it sure is fun. Now, you don't want to glide on every note, because if you did that, oh my, if I was gliding on every note, oops, let's go back to country here. If I was gliding on every note, it would sound like a drunken sailor walking on a sinking ship. Yeah, see how silly that sounds? So how do you know which one to glide on? Usually it's a long note. Sometimes it's the highest note in the phrase. Sometimes it's the first note in the phrase. I think I would probably do it on the long note here. Hey, hey, good looking. Or if you were going to sing it, you could also figure out where it could glide. What you got cooking? And that's exactly the way Hank sings it. So gliding is just an extra way to make your song sound a little bit more real. But that, again, it's the last thing I want you to learn. And if you don't learn it today, who cares? Who cares? The most important thing today is to get your fingers in position. And where do my fingers go to make the song sound pretty? That's the bottom line. All right, get your pencils out. We're going to do some fingering. And again, my fingering is not always what your fingers want to do, but it's a great place to start. Do it in pencil, because if you don't like what mine do, you can always erase mine and put your own in. All right, C5, C5, A3, G2, A3, C5, C5, G2, A3, G2, A3, A3, G sharp 2, A3, 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 B4, B4, A3, G2, C5. Let's go to the third line. Hey, sweet baby, C5, A3, G2, A3, C5, C5, G2, A3, G2, A3. We could find us a brand new recipe. A3, G sharp 2, A3, 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 B4, B4, A3, G2, C5. Any questions so far? Oh, you guys getting good. Let's go to the second page. C5, 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 A3, A3, C5, 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 A3, G2, E1, G2, G2, A3, 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 C5, C5, A3, G2, E1, G2, A3, C5, A3, C5, C5, C5. Let's go to the third line. A3, G2, G2, G2. Now, you might want to put a little arrow on this next B because you're going to want to make it a 3. If you don't, you're going to run out of fingers. So you actually have to skip a note. You're going to be putting a note in between those two fingers. The little arrow is just a heads up. Heads up on this. So G is 2, B is 3. C4, D5, 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 D5. C4, B3, G1, G1. C5, A3. Fourth line, G2, A3. Well, here comes another David. All right. C5, G2, A3, G2, A3. A3, G sharp 2, A3, A3, A3. B4, B4, A3, G2. First ending, C5. The pickup note is a C5. And the last C in the second ending is a C5. Okay. Now, if you've got your computer or your iPad or your phone someplace close to your instrument, put it on easy only, or if you're just going to work the right hand, don't worry about it. And we're going to play together, one hand at a time. If you can do both hands, go for it. Make sure that you do keep yourselves muted so that you're not fighting with my instrument here. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, because that pickup note C comes in on the fourth beat. It'll feel right. 1, 2, 3. Nope, you know what? This is too fast still. We got to go slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. One, two, three, four. 1, 2. Rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. One, two, three, four. Top of the page, 2. supposed to go back and play the whole thing one more time. All right, now there's a couple of tricky spots in here. If you're trying to do two hands at a time, you really are going to have independence of hands. When you get to line 3, third line, you're holding a C note, and you're going to switch chords on the rest. Usually your notes and chords go at the same time, but you're going to put that chord in on a rest, so watch that. That one's a little tricky. Also, if you practice in sections, let's count the measures. Usually pop music is written in 8 measure sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. The 8th measure stops here. And then if you start here, guess what? It's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the first 8 measures are the same as the last 8 measures, the second 8 measures. The last 8 measures, I'll guarantee, the last 8 measures are also the same as the first 8 measures. And that starts at the end of line 3 on the second page with "Hey, good lookin'." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There again. So you have 3 sections of the song that repeat. So if you just learn the first 8 measures, you've got 75% of the song done. So what's the hard part of the song? The middle part. Yeah, that's called the bridge. I got a hot rod Ford. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait a minute. Maybe it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8. It's 8. It's 8. But the middle 8, that's the bridge. That's the part that you only have to play. Well, if you repeat the song, you actually have to play it twice. But it's completely different from everything else. So once you have the 75% of the song done, once you have section A again, and section A again, then that section B is just going to be the one that you can throw in at the end. And if that's the hard one, then you might just want to pick a day and say, today I'm just going to work on the B section of the song, the bridge, your hot rod Ford section of the song, because that is trickier. And again, don't get all caught up in the counting. Sing the song. Let this hand play it along with your singing. Let the background count for you so that all you're doing is singing along with the radio. Don't get all caught up in the timing of it. We are today because I'm going to play it exactly as written. But when you're playing it at home, play it the way it feels. And if you're a little bit off, who cares? Who cares? It's your song. Okay? All right, let's play this again. We're going to play it the second time. The second time. So we're going to play the pickup note. And again, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to play it the second time and go to the second ending this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. questions? There was a lot to learn in this one. There was really a lot to learn. Now, the chords aren't so bad. If you're not playing sevens, don't worry about it. Just play your finger on which chord it's supposed to be at. And work your hands together in sections. If you can't do 8 measures at a time, break it into 4 measures at a time. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? And stop. And just play little sections at a time until it gets comfortable under the 2 hands. The other advice is slow it down. Slow it down. There's nothing that says you have to play it at 120 to start. As a matter of fact, when it comes up on country full band here, it only comes up to 112. I actually have it at 72. If that's too fast, slow it down. We all have to have our fingers moving at our own speed. And you might feel slower today than you do tomorrow. Or you might feel faster today than, it all depends on how much coffee you've had, how much exercise you've had. It depends on a lot of things. Did you get enough sleep last night? How are you feeling? So that's how you determine how fast to make the song go. How does it feel for you on any given day? So you can change your tempo. But yeah, 72 is actually not a bad tempo to start with. That's what I'm using right now. Okay, any questions about anything? We're going to play it one more time. We're going to play it through 2 times. And you can play along with me if you want. You can play only the left hand if you want. You can play only the right hand if you want. If you can get both at the same time, try it. If you start to stumble, drop one hand out and just finish up with the other hand. Remember, that's what level 2 is about. Level 1 as well. Just getting your fingers comfortable on the keys. And it's 2 completely independent things. This guy's doing something and this guy's doing something totally different. And then you have to coordinate them. So that's what the dealio is here. So we'll get it. Again, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Top of the page. 2, 3. Rest, chord, change the chord, and then if you want, you can put an ending on. Okay.
That was fun.
That's a fun song. Yes, this is a really fun song to play. And don't worry about adding your gliding, but once you have it under your fingers and you feel good about the song, try some of your gliding. And if you're not sure how to do the glide on your instrument, you can go to your PA or you can email me 5028@fletchermusic.com. I'm more than happy to help you answer questions. If I need to call you and do it with you over the phone, we can also do that. So you want to find out, at least find out where on your organ do you go to make it glide. Okay, that's always just something fun to do, but it's the last thing I want you to learn. All right. Always the best advice I can give you is if it's a song that you don't like or it reminds you of an ex-wife or an ex-boyfriend, don't play it. Only play songs that you absolutely love, songs that make you feel happy. And I was going to say go to the beach, but it's not a very good day to go to the beach unless, like David says, you're a duck. So have a fabulous day. We will see you next week.
Okay, thank you, Dawn.
And some of
Thank
you
you,
will
Dawn.
see you this afternoon at 2:30 for level 1. So level 1 at 2:30 today.
Thank you, Dawn.
Bye-bye,
Have-
Dawn.
Bye-bye.
Dawn, you have level 1 on Zoom?
Yes, level 1 on Zoom at 2:30. Yes, it's called Conductor Magic.
Right.
And if you
All
want
right.
to join me, please feel free. Please feel free. That's what Lifetime Free Lessons is all about. Take them all if you want.
John, next week, what are we playing?
Next week, we'll do the next song, which is You're Cheating Hard. It's Hank Williams again.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo!
Gene Hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Like that
All
one.
right. Yeah, thanks for asking that. I forgot to tell you. All right, Fred, stay warm. Hopefully it's getting to be nice and spring-like up there.
I just love these classes. This is right within my pay grade.
Oh, all right. Love
Very
you guys.
comfortable here.
Bye-bye.
You too, Don.
Bye.
Bye-bye.